Huge weekend of recruiting in Tuscaloosa. We're going to update you on elite talent, both sides of the ball. Biggest for Kalen DeBoer and his staff. And it starts a summer of recruiting for the Crimson Tide. Bama Softball still alive. They take care of Duke, and they move on in the College World Series. Baseball, a disappointing defeat in the Tallahassee Regional. That and more right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Hit the bell. Share with your friends. And we're brought to you by Pearl River Resort. And the other thing is this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for hanging out with us. And if it's your first time, roll Tide. Welcome to the party. All right, roll Tide, everybody. There he is. They know him in Jasper as Brett Elmore, host of the Brett Elmore Show. You guys know him as Big Sexy Elmo, part of the Bama Tailgate Party. I'm Mick Gillespie, at Broadcaster Mick, and it's time to talk recruiting. Elmo, what's up, dude? You know this is the kind of weekend that we have dreamed of because DeBoer and the gang are bringing in that top-notch talent, and they're going to talk these guys into donning that crimson and white.
You think they're going to talk them into it?
Well, I think that the stadium, the fans, the history, the NIL, all that stuff will help.
I was about to say the NIL probably have a lot to do with it. The rest of it will work itself out too. No, this is a big recruiting weekend. You got a lot of guys in town. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of them. 8 of them. If my Walker County math serves me right, there's 8 of them in town this weekend, and that's a big weekend, baby. That's a big weekend.
Yeah, I mean, some of these targets, I mean, you look at these guys, you know, that Alabama is trying to lock in on, and it's like in attendance, Derek Smith, you know, one of the top 100 athletes. He's from Selma. You got Duke Johnson, who we've talked about on this show, a linebacker from Dodge County in Eastman, Georgia. You got David Sanders, 5-star, Dijon Lee, who we've talked about from Mission Viejo. We knew he was going to be there. A.K. Deere, remember, he's the Ole Miss guy from Quitman, Mississippi, that Alabama is not giving up on yet, hoping that maybe they can sway him. You got the 5-star cornerback from Birmingham, who is Naheem Offert, who is supposedly going to Ohio State, but this new staff is also working on him as well. Ty Jackson, you know him, the number 1 linebacker from Florida. Travis Smith, wide receiver from Westlake in Atlanta. I mean, you're talking about guys from both sides of the ball that are going to be difference makers.
Yeah, more than 8 going to be there, I should have said. A big weekend. Another guy that's going to be there is going to be Ty Haywood, and he may be the top get of that we're going after because he's nationally ranked 9th. Offensive tackle, 6'5", 285, from Ryan High School out in Denton, Texas. A very strong athlete. He got better and better in his junior year of high school, especially his explosiveness off of the ball. That was one thing that a lot of folks noticed as the season progressed. This guy has the potential, if he continues to develop, and especially in a program like Alabama, to be a highly sought after NFL draft pick.
Yeah, let's talk about our guy, Andrew Bone. Of course, wheeling and dealing as always, hitting the ground, trying to figure out what's going on in the world of recruiting. And he's reporting that Alabama has offered in the last 48 hours a difference maker at wide receiver.
Yeah, you're talking about Cederian Morgan from Benjamin Russell down in Alex City. And DeBoer said that this is one of the best wide receivers that he has seen out of this class. and he's right here in the state of Alabama. So he's got the offer in his back pocket. Let's see what he does with it.
Yeah, and you know what? We're gonna have a lot more information popping out after this weekend ends, because this is the start, really, to me, of this summer of recruiting. And this staff is so hungry to bring in some of these guys. I think you're going to have some flips that are committed to other schools that you're going to see before it's all said and done end up coming to Alabama that might not have come to Alabama. Nick Saban's style didn't work for every person, right? You know, and
right.
Kalen DeBoer's style might not work for every person, but it's going to work for a lot of these guys. They're going to love to play for him. And I think that's really going to show up, the fun and excitement. You know, you're hearing these guys talk about how much they enjoy being around Coach DeBoer and his staff and the energy that they're bringing. And I think that it's going to show up in recruiting. Now, let's turn the page a little bit. But they bounce back and they take care of Duke. They beat them 2-1, and they're going to play again. So they're still alive.
Yeah, at least they get a little off time here on Saturday. They'll play Sunday at 3 o'clock on ABC. National audience, all eyes will be on them. But you know how that works in the loser bracket, Mick. Man, that's a tough mountain to climb, but it can be done. My Jasper girls here in the high school ranks, they did it in the tournament. They had to win so many games in a row to win the state championship. So it can be done, and maybe the softball can do it. Yeah,
let's hope so. Look, they've been down before, and if there's anything they learned from that super regional at Tennessee, is that if you keep fighting, good things can happen. And they made mistakes in the game against UCLA. They were the same mistakes that cost them during the regular season, but they're resilient, you know. And you heard Coach Murphy say it. Hey, we gotta have a short memory, and right. They did. And at this point, you gotta have a short memory. You got to go back out and do it again, but. They won a game in the World Series, and then you take a step forward, see if you can win another one, you know, and then all of a sudden see if you can win another one. And if you get to the championship series, you get another loss. So, yeah, you know, because it's the best out of three. Now, Bama baseball didn't fare well in their game against UCF. You knew it was a tough regional. Those Florida schools always have a ton of talent. Alabama and UCF kind of had a back and forth game, and Bama comes up short 8-7. So they're going to have to go through this region in the losers bracket. They have pitching depth, but this is a tough loss. You never want to start the regional with an L because everything stacks up against you.
Yeah, it does. And Florida State in game one of that regional yesterday beat Stetson 7-2. So it'll be Bama and Stetson today at noon. Florida State UCF will follow, but yeah, it's and what a tough way to lose by a run, you know. But they'll have to dig in and try to battle back from it.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that as well. But let's go ahead and say this, Brett, before we let everyone know what's going on in the world. I want to remind you guys that the show is presented by our friends at Pearl River Resort, and we appreciate them so much. Right now is a great time to go over to Dancing Rabbit Golf Course and hit the ball around a little bit.
Resort.
Here's the deal we can offer you. Get a round for $40 when you bet $50 at the sports book from April 1st until August 31st. So that's a great, get the buddies together, go over there, Vegas style betting experience in the sports book. You got all the TVs and everything else. So it really is awesome. Brett and I will be there for Big and Rich and Boys to Men, which I'm so pumped up about right there during the 4th of July weekend. But Brett, with that said, it's your time to take over the show. So I'm going to flip you over here. There you are. And I'm going to play your intro. And when you come back, you're going to tell everybody else on here exactly what's going on in the world today.
They call him Big Sexy. Coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy. Throwing out those Alabama thoughts. Sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Nick gives you the XPs, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
And today is officially the first day of June, Mick. And welcome into the new month.
Thanks. Yeah, my birthday month.
Your birthday month. My birthday month's next month. So we'll just have to put together a 2-month celebration. A lot of really good birthdays today. Ronnie Wood, guitarist of the Rolling Stones, is 77 today. He'll live forever.
Yeah.
Pat Boone, squeaky clean singer and actor, 90 today. But I'd tell you a couple of good ones here, Mick. You know the guy that kind of talks like this, and he owns the Ground Zero Blues Club in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yeah. He's in Fairhope a lot. He comes to Fairhope a lot.
Really?
Yeah. So
how hang out?
Yeah, I love his movies. So how old is he?
87 today.
Happy birthday, Morgan Freeman. Yeah, one of the greats.
No kidding.
How about when he was it was at the Ole Miss basketball game and sitting in the front row and the I think it was an Auburn guy. Like he like grabbed the Auburn guy and the Auburn guy was like jumped back and then he realized it was Morgan Freeman. Oh man, that's Morgan Freeman. Okay.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. David Berkowitz is celebrating his 71st birthday today.
Who?
David Berkowitz. You know who that guy was?
No.
The son of Sam, a serial killer.
Oh, that's why I don't know him.
Yeah. You don't watch a lot of ID channel, do you?
No.
Yeah, I like the murder channel, as my dad used to call it. I'd call him up and I'd say, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just laying here watching the murder channel."
Oh.
Here comes the babe alert. Heidi Klum, her birthday today. She's 51.
Really? Okay.
Alanis Morissette is 50. Always liked her music, the Canadian.
Yeah.
One of your favorites, Ronnie Dunn, 71 today.
So Ronnie Dunn from Brooks and Dunn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like those guys. And they're still touring.
Yes, they are.
Which is great. Yeah. My Maria.
Yeah.
Great song.
Great song. A cover song, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I heard like the original. I was like, well, it's better with those guys.
Yeah. If you're looking for something to celebrate today is a National Billboard Day.
Okay.
Today's National
Billboards are expensive, by the way.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I got wrapped up in a 4-month contract with one time. National Go Barefoot Day.
I used to go barefoot, but I'm too heavy now. If like I step on something, my feet kill. Like I when I was a kid, I could go barefoot, step on rocks, wood, anything. And like now that I'm like heavy, it's like no fun.
I don't think you're heavy. It's just you've gotten a little age on you. Like you're not a kid anymore. I mean, we all National Heimlich Maneuver Day. Have you ever had to perform that or have that on you?
But I learned it though. I learned it in Boy Scouts. Of course, I'm an Eagle Scout, and I hope I never have to use it. But I'll tell you what, it's a lifesaver.
Yep. National Pen Pal Day. Ever had one of those? Yeah,
I mean, back in the day, you would have pen pals. Like I don't think we don't really do mail like that anymore. But
that used to be a lot of fun when you'd get a letter in the mail from your pen pal.
Right.
I wrote WCW magazine one time in the little write-in section, and I asked for a pen pal, and I was pen pal with this girl from Queens, New York. I'll never forget it.
That's cool.
And I tried to reconnect with her just to try to find her, and I couldn't. Her name was Allison Lotaki. I'll never forget a name like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was really cool. Oscar the Grouch Day.
Love Oscar the Grouch. I've actually been accused of being Oscar the Grouch, but I think that's false. I'm a pretty happy person. Sesame Street. I grew up on Sesame Street, man. I watched Sesame Street. I love Sesame Street. Jim Henson. Anything that Jim Henson did, I love. Like Kermit the Frog, the Muppets, Fraggle Rock, Sesame Street. All those things. They don't have.
Like Mr. Rogers? Did you like Mr. Rogers?
I would watch Mr. Rogers. I sent you Mr. Rogers today as an image in our texts.
Right, right.
Mr. Rogers was cool in my book too.
Have you seen the movie about Mr. Rogers?
I didn't yet, but I watched a little bit of it on a plane once, and I liked it, but it was just
incredible.
Yeah, I watched. But he was genuinely a great guy, from what I understand.
Did you ever watch Reading Rainbow?
Come on, man. Of course I did.
Yeah, we all did.
Butterfly in the sky.
Butterfly in the sky.
The problem was, Brett, I didn't read.
I was sitting in like first grade, and that would come on. It was like, oh God, here we go again. Reading Rainbow.
They get locked into it.
This day in history, 1925, you're a baseball guy. Lou Gehrig entered a game against the Washington Senators in the 8th inning, and that began his record string of 2,130 consecutive games played.
Yeah, former Birmingham Baron Marcus Semien, who was on the World Series Rangers last year, had a consecutive game streak of like 349, and they just took him out this week. And it was like the second or third longest streak in Texas Rangers history, and it was one of the longest streaks in baseball. Just to give you perspective of a guy that played, 2,330 some consecutive games. And Cal Ripken beat that streak, which is even more amazing because players just don't do that in baseball anymore.
Yeah. 1926, legendary actress Marilyn Monroe was born. She died of a drug overdose on April 5th, 1962.
Yeah, we've talked about her on here before. I mean, you talk about like the biggest sex symbol in the country's history, but she was married to DiMaggio. Apparently knew the presidents or the Kennedys real well.
Yeah, she knew them all right.
And who knows what else? But you know what? I mean, to have that kind of staying power gives you an idea of just how famous she was.
Another legend born on this same day. I didn't know that they shared the same birthday, but Andy Griffith was born this day.
Man, I know some young people that watch are probably like, they don't even know who Andy Griffith is. Andy Griffith and the Andy Griffith Show is the greatest show, I think, ever on TV. I mean, Barney is the best actor. Like, that's the best character actor ever. My grandparents used to make me watch it, and I loved it, man. You learned a lot of good, lessons from Andy and Opie and the boys. And I actually went to the town where Andy was from that they, loosely based the show on, Mount Airy, North Carolina. So
yeah,
love that. And it was sad when they all started to die, because they were such a part. Like WGN, you guys know I'm a Cubs guy. It would be Andy Griffith and Cubs baseball, Bozo the Clown.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I used to watch Bozo the Clown all the time.
Yeah.
You'd throw the little ping pong balls in the red buckets.
Well, and the other thing too is people got to remember now, Brett's from Jasper, and so was Goober, and he's worked so hard for them to rename a portion of Interstate or Highway 78 the Goober Expressway, and I just really I tip my cap to you for that.
Yeah, that long Goober Highway, that long lonesome Goober Highway. I'm working on it. But it hurt my heart when Andy Griffith died back in 2012. It really did. And Otis was great. Ernest T. Bassett. I mean, going on and on. But we don't have all day here. And let's see. Anything else happen this day? The Rolling Stones arrived in the U.S. for the first time, landing at JFK International Airport, New York City, back in 1964. Big day, the British invasion,
Yeah, and the funny thing to me about that is, did you ever watch the Leonard Skinner documentary on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
And Ronnie Van Zant, and they open up for for the Stones, and they tell them, like, you can do anything you want, but don't walk out on the tongue, because there was like a tongue that's
Right.
like the basically the logo, they had turned it into part of the stage. And Ronnie Van Zant and the whole band just go stomp on that tongue.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
funny. And I'm like, man, Leonard Skinner, I mean, they're such a big part of Alabama, right? Sweet home Alabama.
Right.
But I mean, those guys were kind of like that generation's, like, honestly, like gangster rap type guys. I mean, I know it's a different type of music, but just where they just did what they wanted to do, and were kind of like, they didn't care.
Yeah. The Stones played Legion Field back in I guess it was the mid to late 60s. They used to have the WVOK Shower of Stars, and my dad would go to this as a kid, and a lot of them. I interviewed one of the Beach Boys one time.
Oh, cool.
And he was talking about Mike Love. I interviewed him, and he was talking about coming to Birmingham that night at Legion Field. And could you imagine? And I pulled it up here. It was like the ticket price was like $3 or $5. It was the Beach Boys and a new band called the Rolling Stones, the Righteous Brothers, Marty Robbins, Sonny James from Hackleburg, Alabama. But all of these acts, Skeeter Davis. That was May 7th, 1965 at Legion Field. I think my dad was there. And but he was talking about that and having to actually come on stage, I think, after the Rolling Stones, and it was just nearly impossible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, think about that, like being upstaged and stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, that's this day.
All right, guys, and that does it for the show today. Hope you're having a great weekend. Roll Tide, everybody. Get in the comments section. Tell us what you think, and thank you for hanging out with us and being a part of our show each and every day right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel.